It is time, my friends! Evil Geniuses Academy with VCT players and new talent versus a super team here on tier 2. Shopify, Rebellion Black, got Xander, got Ion that used to play for Envy, my friends. This is going to be a great game. Only highlights for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and activate notifications because there's more games coming, my friends. No more talking, enjoy the game.
Pretty commonplace as well for Shopify's bottom line. Gotta break down that door here sometime. Paranoia in a little preemptively, and Xander's still gonna step into it. Pancakes with that opening interception, and he's gonna continue that front line. Exa will succeed in the lurk, so there is a bit of a time crunch that Shopify can work with. And in fact, they'll head back to Link to re-up with the rest of the squad. As we go into a 3v3, but that health pool isn't looking good. Jake senses that blood in the water, but nature just turns right back to it and takes a swan dive. That is certainly a way to pick up a pistol.
EG with the Euro and the Fates setting up for some sort of a main control.
It's taken Nature and Mitch a little time to get their feet off the ground with a lot of these games. Ion taking advantage of that early aggression in the anti-eco with a double shorty shot and already forcing the pinch with the rest of the team. You don't even need to buy that much with this squad, and they've already cleared house. A flawless round 2.
Zerona with the Odin, and we know how much this is so annoying on Corrode. Trying to get a pick towards that B main, but doesn't grab anything.
Yeah, a lot more comfort in being able to hold down the own territory, as EGA has already had no trouble being able to go back and retake pretty damn quick. Zerona's already here for the pinch on top of the insert. It's just Shopify can't get in without getting interrupted. That's going to be the bottom line. And Stunna is in even more. Give it all to him. And these rounds are getting sped runs so far, Athena.
That mid, but is it going to be countered by Shopify's super fast B main take?
Feels like Shopify needs to intentionally telegraph where they're pushing, at least to start anyway, if you want to divert attention to go for the fake. But that does take conditioning that aggression, so you're going to be kind of ringing that bullhorn either way.
Oh my
Aggressive
God.
TP up from Xander. Yeah, that's a decision. Still got the low ground, though. The Satellite will turn to it. Stunna now holding up the backline. He'll re-enter top of the flash, but Ion has still got it and a buddy system intact so that they can take even more space. And EG can now no longer comfortably retake. Already some disrespectful shots. Man, these guys are loud in the lobby. Mitch in the 1v2 up against the IGL and company with the other initiator in tow. Already letting all of that util fly as Shopify has skated the perimeter. And it looks like Mitch is giving it up. Not enough time and not enough money to justify going for it. He's going to let this round go.
A lot of video on your opposing team and just abusing that to this round. 3 ults online for both sides. Both these teams better be prepped for a pretty fast round here.
Already the pads out from Ion. Shopify sparing no expense and not a second on top of it. Zerona, yeah, just going for the preemptive Hunter's Fury to try to, again, just slow things down the tiniest bit, and it'll work on the first bit of it. Now the two-pronged attack, Xander gonna end up being able to trade his way through things, but no intel on where the rest of EG is at, just having to rely on the fact that he's a little bit ahead of the problem, and just barely, but not in time for Jake to get to him first. And they might just have enough time to defuse this before any other member of Shopify makes it back. They've already sold that the stack is here thanks to the convergent paths, and no one is here in time. And this time, it's still Evil Geniuses playing on Shopify Rebellion's terms, but this time, the terms were arguably just really bad.
On that lurk constantly.
Yeah, starting to get his number for sure. Start just trying to aggress that more often. You leave less time and openings for someone like Satellite to be able to initiate where the real problem is. And I mean, you've seen just here, Exa kind of window shopping in the insert, gets nothing, and now Shopify has to excavate all of this extra space on mid without that pressure. So you put it somewhere else. You give Sander the B lane and start having him toss a couple things from a distance. Maybe divert that attention, and the spike making its way over to main. There's the Hunter's Fury to open things up, and Ion with the rush down, but Zerona on that centrality is going to be able to mow it down and still stay standing until Satellite finally meets him with the pinch beyond the smoke placed in Link. And again, EGA still a little segmented, making their way back to this site that's been fully intruded upon. Shopify have the 3v3 post plant. Dimensional drift inside as Jake already gives himself away. Where is Mitch? And is this Nightfall coming along with him? The Paranoia on top. Xander not able to meet it. Stunna still manning up on top of this hut. Still taking the space over as the Nightfall will come through. Shopify did take the distance to get away from it, but now EG threatening that distance themselves. Stunna on top of the gate crash, potentially to pinch as well. It's just gonna man down the front line in the 2v1. High-low, not enough. Satellite is able to poke in on it once, and Stunna's still got to take this 1v1, but Satellite the timing again and makes it 6-2.
Not looking too good, but as I say that, Stunna is pushed all the way down mid with so much information here.
It's been all space making before playmaking so far. You get ahead of the smoke and you're in, and Ion proves that again in spades. No clean way back in, but now you have the 5v4, you have the confidence, you gotta just drive through it. Zerona knowing that with the Guardian, able to find Satellite before any real space is made. But Shopify, they'll go conventional again. Stick Ion on his lonesome with this operator, jump peeking and still catching one. And now quite the unorthodox Viper's pit to again, just maintain whatever space you can. Xander finds a pocket and a kill onto Pancakes on the early entry, and EG is just doing what they do best, running it down with minimal time to spare. And with the stack in tow, they have the power to make that work. Xander, again, taking the perimeter. Having to force out something here as Zerona and Mitch can double up on duty, and with that recon, they can take that extra inch of space. Now on top of the spike and the smoke, into the double swing. And that was taken with that extra bit of precaution that EG hadn't had up until this very moment.
It is well deserved. Shopify, a lot of those entries have been really sick, and now they're kind of fighting for a lot of that mid control, knowing that it was open, but this time EG has an answer to push down. Again, this is their thrifty though, only having that Vandal on Stunna, Hero Rifle. Satellite, is he ready for this push?
Not completely. Pancakes is able to get that spray on the walk-in, and now it's EG that can apply that early pressure. Shopify, no time to get to condition anything. Jake the wide swing, and then the double up. Oh, that's clean. Just Nature and Ion left standing, and they've got to hold it down. Nature holding this spike and a little by himself. Ion having to make the choice to go back instead of being that pioneer that has netted Shopify so many free entries. Now the saturate on top of it, but the stack is too spread thin. There's just too much in front of it. And now behind you, a flawless, thrifty take back for EG Academy. The exact kind of morale booster you need.
How they usually do with this momentum push.
A question of, yeah, how exactly they make this approach work. Pancakes, who is continuing to try to find his place in this game, having to do so now on the attack. Stunna solo doloing against this two-stack, and it's a little off-handed. Stunna! Another 3K in another pistol, this time going EGA's way.
I can't believe it, dude. Stunna needs to be the MVP of pistols. For EG, he's securing so many of these 3Ks for them. And now up to EG to just make sure they solidify what they're going to do. Staying grouped up, it is a good call, but Xander is here to kind of put a hold into it. Gets one and is instantly traded out by Pancakes. And it's just down to Nature in this 1v3.
These rounds have been such fun microcosms of like how EGA and Shopify have operated as a whole throughout this stage.
Yeah.
Just like taking a polygraph test almost. Like you get your general discipline out, your macro, you start looking for the fun opportunities, you realize where you may slip up, where you may have given yourself too much grace, and then the whole team groups up, finds that discipline again before they fully flatline. No breaking through the stack this time. It'll be a clean pistol for EG Academy as they will keep a pulse in this game.
And a lot of that information just shows that EG has a really sick foundation. Just a matter of they can bring it back to this round. And they're looking to start with this 2-3 default. 3 towards mid. Stunna trying to get a lot of that information, but he is in a 1v1 versus Ion.
Such a ruckus in Link, and again, by his lonesome, EG is trying to find every opportunity to condition that Stunna could be on his own anywhere, anytime. And even so, he's linked right back up with the team as they take over this A site in the 5v3. Plants down, clones sent out. EG have taken over so much space in milliseconds, just off of, like you said, what was essentially a proxy 1v1, just with extra presence in mid. Shopify's looking a little terrified at this point, and Nature having to frontline this call as the rest of the team makes its way back to the link to go for a proxy pinch. But everyone's so stood up. There's still so much in the kit, and Stunna on another basically 1v1. He has not the better angle, though, and Nature able to take the wide stance. Now trying to run it down as the rest of the team sets up shop. Smoke is going to dissipate, but this is a 4v2 that Shopify don't feel they have the time to manage, so they'll hand this bonus over.
You know that in terms of lurking, Pancakes tends to stay closer to the team.
They manage it like Play-Doh. They don't want to give anything away until the very last second. Exa in the cubby. That takes the first Prowler hit. You've already given yourself away to an extent, so they're going to start firing some stuff at you. awkward get out, but they still manage on top of the smoke, and EG's just gonna make the entry work. Zerona able to flip back for two, but Satellite flashing on himself and catching Pancakes post-saturate as well. A defensive pinch in the middle of the approach. Shopify, the first time this half where they are quicker to the punch than EG Academy, and it shows so hard on the kill feed. Ion now picking up that operator. In the 1v3, Zerona making the choice to use that Hunter's Fury on the close quarters. Another very interesting decision that'll net Satellite his null command and a 4K. They're trying to tunnel their way through mid a bit, grabbing the extra inches of space as it becomes harder and harder to wrestle them away this late into the game. We spoke at length, or the desk did rather, about how both of these teams take a second to get their momentum up, but once they do, they hit the ground running, and they don't stop until they see 13. Door kept out. Stun is still dry swinging it. Going for round 2, and the timing's almost good. But a 2v3 on the approach. Pulse no command as well. EG Academy only has one lane to rely on, and it's a B site. Preemptive Hunter's Fury by nature. More just emptive, honestly, as the spike will fall before he manages to land a tag, and that's already a couple crucial seconds given away. And now the Odin by Mitch. This is a great 45 set up. Zeronis in the back, just in case. That's 2 bodies already given away. As soon as the third lets himself be known, Zerona can turn tail and head towards heaven. There he goes. He's got the better vantage now. Mitch can step back. And these 2 initiators on EG have all they need to be able to manage this 3v2. Now a 2v2 as the first one steps into the fray. Satellite just trying to manage. No dilly or dallying allowed, though, and Satellite having to do it all on his own. 41 HP, no longer any time to defuse. He's got to at least try and get the kill, and he can't do it all as much as I would love to see Satellite continue to.
A lot of these superstar players, right? You have players that have played in Tier 1.
Shop for this one, and on the scoreboard, it's starting to show. Seeing if they can achieve that momentum that they have been so used to. Pancakes has finally made his way up, and Satellite unable to make anything work here on the first choke up. The rest of Shopify will just choke back in response. It's back and forth. And Ion with this peek on the operator, letting it work. Convergent Pats once again to try to go for the early intercept, but EG just turns tail. 30 seconds to go. That's enough to get to the A site.
This is what you're talking about. A lot of those mid-round calls coming in from Mitch, and this is one that might pay off really well. There's only one player from Shopify sitting on this site, but he has a judge.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get at least one freebie out of it. The snake bite ready to go, but everyone's too close. Doesn't matter. Exit still finds a second, just barely enough time to plant and try to manage this 2v3. Pancakes already moving up. Deciding to take the outer current of the hallway. TP faked in, but no intel gained. Smoke on top of the elbow. Pancakes made the right call of where to plant himself. TP prevents the double up. It doesn't matter, because Jake's got it managed. And a 2v3, raw, won by EGA to take us to 11-9.
But it didn't matter. EG, man, solidifying those rounds. Throwing their mouse up in the air as celebration.
Is Jake's head at the bottom half of every camera he's in? I swear, like, maybe it's not our fault.
Yeah, maybe he just photographed that way.
He's just
That's
gotta,
his preference.
He's got to nudge himself up a little bit, man. Skirting the pit very early from Exa. Yeah, shoot, that shotgun got 2 last round. Why not go for it again? Well, there's an inch for EG to go for the plant here. They tapped it. Oh, the Pancakes turning back. How does he get all 3 out of that? He whipped up the headhunter in slow-mo and still got that.
I mean, for Shopify, they have all the right reads and all the right reactions. They can't trade it out in the middle of these rounds. It's kind of insane. That was really wild. The EG just turning around. Pancakes getting those picks. Shopify using their util really well, but man, that was a hard round for Shopify. They had really fast rotations, really fast takes. They got all the info so quick that they just couldn't get the picks. But with this Thrifty, they're looking to get a couple more guns down for their economy.
And then you go like this, there was just no reinforcement. And the second you pressure that spike on the A doorway, Exa, sure, Exa can move up a couple inches, but you have to pressure the pinch so you can, you know, make that space back on top of the pit. And EG got all of that A opening for free on top of the boxes. So they could just walk up. Pancakes could rotate over to the link. He had nobody in his way.
The way that they're supposed to be used, but still just holding a lot of these passive angles with the op, knowing that they have 4 ults. They really need to punish, push up, put a wrench in this execute, and not let them get on site, especially with that Yoru ult. But it is online. Trying to go for one, but misses. And now the execute starts. Looking
That's
really
like
rough for Ion
mandatory,
here.
dude. Yeah, Ion has to get those at that point. Hunter's Fury and on top. I mean, yeah, you can just use literally everything here. It doesn't matter. Shopify is kind of quick to this nature, making the call, has the Odin to spray things down, and so the elbow is momentarily pinched up. And Xander has made his way back through the link. EG is almost compressed too much early on, but of course, Pancakes just decides to make a little extra space to make up for it. 2v1. As X is on his way back, but the spike just tapped to see if he's closer than expected. Instead, oh, are we gonna do another flip through CT?
If we go buy guns in their spawn again?
Yeah, go back to the buy round. Just get right back to your position. Yeah, I mean, what do you do here as Exa? Just kind of like it. Yeah, you just have to read mannerisms, and he's read this very well, knowing that he has to just dig backward. How long till Haunt's back for Mitch? That might be what they're waiting on.
Should
to
be
get
up
back into A
soon,
site.
yeah. Well, EG, we know they like to play with a lot
There
of
it is.
that kind of cohesive play style. They don't want to plant too early, want to hold for any of these retakes, not be put in that 1v1 situation. And now Exa left alone. Doesn't really have much he can use other than this Poison Orb and this Snake Bite, but Mitch and Pancakes have all of elbow, playing together. It's going to be a really rough one for Exa.
Yeah, just the bite. And you've got, I mean, yeah, every other inside corner, Pancakes is conditioned that he's creeping up on it. So go for the tap, go for the back. Mitch will get flushed out by the bite, but that's what Pancakes is there for. Yeah, Mitch gets one more peek before going down. It'll be that 1v1, and Exa knows Pancakes can count. Can't do a damn thing about it. What an attack half from Evil Geniuses Academy, man. I mean, that made it look so dominant the second we swapped sides.
And it's looking like we're going to have a majority of the Shopify Valorant players towards this short A.
First bird out to find Satellite. Yeah, these birds are going to be used a lot just to make sure nobody's lurking willy-nilly. Pancakes just sitting on top of this Poison Orb, able to get a whole lot of free damage, and through it, a lot of free kills. Nature still decayed, still tapped, still dead on the way down, and Ion, having refracted, has lost all of that space, and with a shorty, can't collapse on top of it either. So Satellite will come into play the supporter. And now that range given back with the help of the Sheriff and the Ghost that Ion will pick up. Slowly got to carve away at this space. EG Academy feeling comfortable giving some of it away with the smoke just to play keep away. It's the rest of the stack just manages to make sure they can't be fully infiltrated. They're fine with the retake game with Teo and Waylay online. And the spike even planted in the back of the truck to dissuade that first salvo. That's well played.
Slow around from EG, trying to not let them be in any position to give away more than these 1vx situations. And Satellite with one pick on Jake already, and this retake has kind of blown open.
Yeah, finding every potential spot to be able to just get away with it. That's the way that Shopify's got to roll with this. Sadly, though, they don't have much space to be able to call their own. Intercept piece by piece. Throw out one salvo for the first push, second salvo for the retake. It's just maintaining a constant threat. Oh, Pancakes gets away with one despite being sprayed through at first. But Zorona, saturated, caught by Ion on the jump in. Now it's all about playing the preventative. Salvo in first. Mitch has to do it alone, and he can. Shopify can battering ram their way through B main and have a 4v2 on the post plant. Stunna, just that early intel on top of the refract with the help of the flash, but nothing to really gain from it.
Going towards that long, knowing that they have those long range guns, they need to take advantage of that and just kind of walk up as a group, contact play, not give away too much as to avoid any quick stacks or any quick rotates from EG.
30 seconds left.
Yeah. No rifles to spray down on B site, so Shopify should pretty quickly get the idea that no one's here to be able to counteract them. But X on this lurk. Soon as one of EG's stack goes through the TP, hits through, he's able to activate a little bit. Mitch able to flush that out with the salvo, but it's a good time waster. And Shopify can start soloing threats here. Rest of EG does have rifles available, so this is a full-fledged 3v3, and the salvo will flush Satellite in towards the cubby to have to force a crossfire up, and now the smoke is actually going to force Satellite into his own pocket. So really just trying to isolate threats, but there's still so many outside of it. A Nature is found on jump up by Jakey. That's great timing by him, and now the triple stack can jump down, but there's such little time on the spike. You've got to hold it down and simultaneously manage this 3v2. Orbital strike on top of the spike, though, and Mitch is only able to hold for half. Now it's a 1v1 as Xander has managed both, and Pancake steps in too early as the timer strikes late.
A little more proactivity, a little more aggression, and it looks like they're trying to do something like that towards this long B, but just punished again by Ion and his Waylay movement.
Yeah, you can tell Stunna wants so many more opportunities to engage early before the stack fully comes through, but players like Satellite and Ion are going to be able to trounce that. Zerona does get ahead of that toxic screen, and with Dutch Dimensional Drift, Satellite's on his own, and Jakey's actually able to win that duel too. So EG, yeah, certainly not on their own terms, but they're going to make it work, and it's Zerona that is the one that is able to get proactive with it. Shopify's pace, not properly managed this time. And so they're stunted, they're stalled, they're stopped. This is where they appear their weakest. And EG can stay stoic in all four of those individual positions that were previously so desperate to find where the main problem lies.
Smoke's down.
Poison's off.
Orb's gonna dissipate before they fully make the push. So X has gotta manage this fight, and this Molly
30 seconds
forces
left.
a weird angle for him. He takes it, and Jake wins the fight. And that bite's gonna hit Xander, too. It's all back to formula here for EGA. I mean, the second they find their footing, they look so bloody clean.
Yeah, that plant for Shopify is actually super important. They're going to be able to buy up this next round, even though it's a little bit of a struggle, this one.
Yeah, with EG spread so thin, I'm wondering how Shopify is going to be able to excuse, you know, the moment where they can let that fly, how they can enable off of that. Oh, they might not have to. Shopify just accepting EG stack, walking through the smoke on top of the showers. A 1-for-1 that leaves 2 in the bathroom, and the rest of Shopify with a free A site. Once again, a little bit of a flip. AO drone out, will force Satellite to TP back over to Lamps, so Shopify just a little bit compressed at the moment, but this triple stack is looking beyond dangerous. Mitch's one salvo is going to force an entire stack out, though, and Zerona gets a free 2. Now the rest of EG stack, spotted by Satellite, but not immediately taken down. Snakebite will force Nature to once again take a suboptimal angle from behind on Heaven, so Satellite's got to go it alone against this Lamp stack. The rotation spread thin for a moment, though, and that forces EG to play a little weaker. On top of the timer, the spike tap, Satellite still in here, and it's Shopify who can stretch that spike every moment that it ticks down, gaining the lead back 4-3. Really admire how much Ion has been pressuring Mitch in particular. Mitch yet to get a kill so far, doing a great job of enabling a lot of the flushes with these salvos, but in return, every piece of that util is just so sluggish, so he's got to go for the tradeaways in order to get on the board here, and he will. Ion for Jake. Pancake's still standing, but as that lone controller, A-site is like wax paper, especially when Mitch sticks around and X is able to play from a mile away. Now you get the free exec onto the A-site. Stunna has all of the util in his kit, but do you have any excuses to use it? Looks like he wants that light speed to go, and the decoy is going to waste so much time on top of it, but now the pit on top of the spike plant. Light speed's gone, saturate on top of the spike plant, but the snake bite is gonna force Stunna to make noise on the step back, and so Pancake's having to get on top of this to make up for that vulnerability. But Spike's already down, Pit's already up. That is one of the tiniest ones I've ever seen in my life, but X is gonna make it his little hovel. The Seeker taps him, Zerona steps through the smoke. With that Judge, he's only able to get 1. The wide range is taken by Nature, who grabs 3.
They read the round beautifully. Actually, they abused that. They knew that Mitch loves to re-clear that running through that orb, but it didn't work. But the good news for EG is they have this Teho ult online. They should be able to play those retakes really well, and that's why we see them playing a little bit more passive towards A. And finally, a push towards Strong, but it doesn't matter. X is just spamming the smoke, getting 1, and Stunna is here to get another.
It's all about the interception here. Yeah, the Nightfall on top of the Armageddon. Mitch is going to be able to catch a body off of that, but Stunna's still stuck here on sand, and they know it. Everybody under a time crunch with 70 seconds on the clock. But Shopify's gonna stick this plant. EG's here to react, but how much util is left? Mitch has already used both those salvos. Oh, and Xander has this orb strike. If he gets a scent of intel off of Nature's Haunt when it comes back up, he's gonna let that go. But they also don't know if they can extend because they don't know how much of EG is already here. And Stun is already watching from Octagon. Okay, Xander's cleared that out, 2v2. Mitch gonna let himself be known on top of his concuss, so he's giving himself away, but he's giving the attention away from Jake as the orbital strike is committed on top of the peak. No one watching for the final member of EG, who will make it 4 for them. And once again, taking the short so they can take the long, and the convergent paths go straight into that pit. Pancakes has to GTFO, and Shopify takes over every other channel of it. It's a hunting ground for this Viper, but Pancakes still stays alive in it. After all is said and done, they still gotta go for the breach. No other opportunity. Orbital strike on top of this, but Pancakes continuing to avoid. And now the rest of EG's here. An absolute mowdown. The only ones left is the one that got ahead of it all, Ion, who has given away that backline presence after taking care of Jake. 1v3 with the saturate available as well, but EG can extend now and take every precaution they need to make this 5-7. Waiting in the pool, Zerona giving himself away with the bird after the spray through the wall. Couple seconds wasted, but Ion just reloading right in the face of it. Continuing to just not care the way he's always played. But you've got to go one by one on these angles, and eventually EG will feast. Xander does have that stimmy, so they should have the arsenal to be able to match up for it, unless EG tosses down their own stimmy, which they will, and now the double TP to try to go for the counterfight. Satellite's opened up with 2, but still the fight rages on, and EG still has the crowd, so Shopify cannot control. It's Satellite in a 1v3 with 51 HP, a gate crash in your pocket, but nothing else after that double kill has gone through. And EG can just go to that empty site after the rest of the crowd has been cleared up.
They need this pistol to get those numbers equalized in rounds. 1v3 for Satellite. It's not looking too hot because look at EG's positioning. They're all in showers. They know exactly how to play off of each other, play off that post plant that's planted for them. And they have so much still left over. 2 sky flashes, the waylay dash. It's looking really rough for Satellite, but super well played by EG so far.
This really does feel like such a grudge match. These players, so many of them known each other since the prehistoric era, and you're seeing like the game plans formulate and
Stop for a little bit of info.
Flash out into the stack, so Shopify can at least overwhelm one, but I mean, this is the same thing that EG did when they won Pistol on Corrode. Send one guy who has the least stuff over into the stack that you've picked up. Rest of the team comfortably makes their way onto an completely vacant A site and sets up shop. Now they can turn back to every other angle that was not properly managed. Oh, they're not watching Xander though, and he lands the double right-click one-shots! That's disgusting! All of a sudden it's a 2v5. All of a sudden one! Ion able to find Pancakes with this Marshall that they bought up. And Nature up against the world as the shuffle pops through! Shopify wins such a cursed round to get on the board. You still got a decent amount to work with here. I mean, both teams fully committing to being able to take this round and try to run like hell with it to the bitter end. Try peeks out, and Satellite's gonna win it with the help of Nature. Gets escorted back out of the Octagon. Tremendous setup by SRB here. Love Exa being ahead of this. Just tanking that bird right behind the screen again. Sets up checkpoint number 1. Pancakes, yeah, only good for taking this out piecemeal, which is all you can really force yourself to do. That salvo, though, will make sure that Satellite does not have a contingency. Ion already made his way back, and now with the help of Xander TPing in, you've got a very quick 2v2 to manage on the post plant. The Molly is going to hold on to the back haul. Ion with the light speed in. Jake still remaining hidden, but Ion can go hunting for Zerona, leaving that isolated. And so Shopify can quickly take that 2v2, making it 9-6.
But really, if you look at that round, you can see that EG, they had so much util down on site that...
And if they can detect a stack and just make a little extra noise. Has convinced the majority of Shopify to stick around, but Of all the people to be keen to the potential for the lean over, it's gonna be Nature, and he'll be the first to take it. Saturate, Salvo on top of it, Nature still on top of it, lightning fast interception, and Xander's orbital strike is gonna convince the TP. But now that stack is sold back, and the infiltration into Lamps will be managed by Ion. Zerona can't even pick up the finisher, barely a lick of damage on him, and he might stay alive the whole way through this! That was a bit of a style. Strategic plan, like they want a through line for an entire round. And Bind is just too sequential for you to work like that. There's too many things to get in your face early on, and there's another one, Satellite, just TPing off rip into a dry fire op shot. So EG again has to turn up the gas. Toss a molly to play preventative on top of a plant site that they don't even own yet because the rest of Shopify is already here. Orbital strike into the Lamps, and Ion, no light speed, is gonna have to just walk it out, but he will get out scot-free. Now a pit on top of the plant spot, but guess what? Xander's gonna keep on spraying, picks up 2 Satellite! Blind, ups, down, that pit's holder, and Shopify reduce everything that was brought to the table, despite it having more power than ever that half, into a triviality. We're going to map 3, whether y'all like it or not. Shopify Rebellion taking back a commanding victory. Pigeons, they cradled a lot of that initial damage, so the frontliners didn't end up doing a lot of the fragging, and from there they were able to work it into a pretty clean defense. EG, much different composition, much more able to kind of play static when need be. And those lurkers will always be lurking, as Mitcha makes his way up mid, so far uncontested, but that's about to change. Xander the first meet, the first blow. First blood for Shopify. Now able to fully pinch on top of this B site that Pancakes has not stuck the plant on until now. Stunna, taking that first hit. Once again, well swung and adjusted by Xander. And Shopify reducing these fights one at a time, nobody getting to be able to link to one another. Jake, the only guy able to get advantage onto more than one player at a time, and that is surgical from Shopify on the first take back.
Enemy tag.
Very minimal util needed to silence a lot of these startups, but Stun has made it in. Yeah, Exa just relying on Nature to deal with that. He will. And another follow-up round that looks to be pretty cut and dry. Shopify very comfortable with waiting until the very last moment to take that last chunk of the B site. And yet again, Jake stands alone. Does have this Outlaw. Hang on a minute. Maybe get another freebie down now. He'll just run away with that gun that will probably prove quite important in the bonus.
It works out pretty well for them because Pancakes is here trying to prey on that A main again, trying to get a free pick off of that drone. But a lot of util to punish and push them off to make sure they don't get in.
Door's been broken on mid, and they're gonna flash their way in through heaven to go for this pinch. Ion's able to manage A main though, and that's where the spike is landed. Okay, Xander, look out, buddy. Slowed down by that saturate, making it a little more difficult for him to manage, but Ion on the other side of that is gonna be the 3K'ing.
Like...
Right now, EG thinks they don't have to pressure mid, so Shopify can put everything everywhere,
so they can fall back
everyone.
And then,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, X has got his. Now you rush in. You find out X is there. We already knew that.
Toxin screen down.
Screen down. Free pot shots. EG, again, don't have a great vantage. X says firing for free. Okay. Eventually taken down, but we still haven't made any space, and there's 35 seconds to go. 3v3. Trying to find a way to enable Pancakes on this operator now that your sand smokes. Sander still on the way back. Oh, tough swing, Nature. He's not holding the walk-up angle. And the double salvo is going to make it so EG are actually kind of in panic mode for only a moment here. They'll separate into the 2-1. Once again, have Jake play for the flank watch to start. Now watch back onto Heaven. Justice Satellite gets that Heaven approach, and he was alone. Sander still on the way back over. So this is the round that EG will make work, and it looks like they'll hold on to the important guns that they need to. Still a question of how they can fully establish themselves this round, because preferably Ion's not going to be dying for no reason every round. So a little more of an uphill battle from here, for sure.
Yeah, I think for Shopify, other than Ion just yeeting himself off the map, is opting towards B, holding that line, trying to see if off of that A main pressure, anyone's going to aggress and walk into his op, but full execute coming in for the bridge plant for EG.
quick flash into the run-up. Stunna saturated by the looks of it here. And the gravity well on top of the spike. Okay, Zerona, calm down. Flash in, 4-stack walk in. And they want to win the fight before they win the space. By the looks of it, the Cosmic Divide's going to fade before EG can finalize the plan on the site, and Shopify still getting kills on top of it by making the space themselves. Stunna no longer an option to be able to pierce through, and EG's got to back away. They've got to settle on the B side by the looks of it, as Mitch is going to try to keep as many people here as possible. He'll do a decent job at it, but he's already gone. But Pancakes has made his way through the B site, cleared every inch of it. EG can go for a full-fledged bum rush. If Exa doesn't have anything to say about this, he might make it back in time on this flank, though, and nobody's watching. Jakey turns to it. We got a 3v4 on our hands, and Shopify's on the rush back, but they'll be a little late.
Teleport's ready.
Oh, Pancakes watching the link. Ops back up in time for round 2, and they've got to just fire it dry. Pancakes, Hunter whipped out again, going for it all, but it's flushed away, silenced. Rush up by Ion on top of the slow. Gets down Zerona, and the stun onto Jake as well. Forces him back beyond the CD that's set up defensively. And now you can smoke yourself off. Xander orchestrating this entire counter push, and Jake up against so much at once, almost transfers to Xander. But a 4K with 7 HP to go keeps Shopify on top.
It feels like their aiming control kind of working out, kind of not. That seeing as how Hexa has been really good at holding this down. I just hope they can kind of figure out their pathing and make sure they clear that site before they even try getting that bomb down.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, you've got to make something certain here. On a map like Abyss, it's like you need a guarantee of some level. There is one. Stunna, spear tip, finally lands the sharp part. And everyone's on for the party to begin. Nature, with that vantage, can at least grab one on the way down. But SRB, for once, are going to be slow to come back to this. Ion watching from A Hall. Is the full-on flank expected? Seems like it is. Mitch, yeah, watching both channels of entry. As Zerona manning down security for that first bit of entry. Pancakes holds it down, and at that point, yeah, Ion's made the decision. Eco is still too unstable, and I'd sell A here with the noise. Oh, Stun is already 1 HP. Just keep on spraying.
But look at Exa, he hasn't moved.
Oh, Pancakes! Dry walk and a frag. It's open season on B site. That call's been confirmed to be vacant as well. So EG, yeah, boastfully just run up here. And Pancakes hasn't had a lot of opportunities to head into this library, but in he goes here. How many does he get this time? Ion now off the operator, handing it to Satellite. Yeah, that convergent path does not catch what's right in front of you. Pancakes and Jake can manage it all. And that's all you really need, right?
I mean, now for EG, the real test of time is winning this pistol, because then they can equalize instantly. And Stunna's here, aggressively holding a main.
Yeah, this is your ticket to even footing, and it's all about finding the certainty first. First blood, one of the biggest ones, especially here in the pistol. A lot of util dumping to start things out. Toxic Screen teased here on a main, but Shopify Rebellion Black will turn tail. Here comes a Pancakes lurk. Let's see what he gets. He's going wide. He's going purely for steps. Anybody dare to walk through mid here? Oh, it's everybody. And Ion, oh, at the gate! Bye-bye!
Bro is just so aware.
Shopify's got their pick of the litter here. 60 seconds and all the territory in the world to explore. Just, no more than kind of just walking through it in order to actually take it over. So, still gonna try and stay calculated and see if anybody else from EGA chomps at the bit, gives themselves away and turns it into a 5v3 instead. They got they got so much time to do it.
Xander just trying to bait any of that noise, bait any of that information. But they don't know that all of EG is kind of stacked here, except for Jake. They're gonna head towards that A site, which honestly, with the amount of util that they still have those salvos, they still have the dart, might work out for them as long as they just fight together. But Mitch ready with that dart, ready to delay.
Flushed away, the entry is so good. Stunna the only one who has a decent vantage, and he's able to net too, granted. but
10 seconds
it's still
left.
just far too much in your face. Shopify Rebellion have a commanding 3-1 here in the pistol. Jake coming back from that B site where he wasn't even able to kind of get intel for the cell. It was just Shopify having a blasphemous amount to throw at the problem here. No stars available for Jake now to try to play timer stall with this spike in hand. So he's got to go for the fights, and what do you know? It's Ion that lands that frag too.
Spike planted.
Re-entry back out into mid here for Satellite. A lot of double checking going on, except for where Pancakes is planted. God, he's just gonna lurk whether you like it or not. Keeps getting away with it until Satellite turns back and deals with it. So the retake is less powerful, but much more present early on here. So these stars are gonna go pretty quick. First one that well, just gonna waste some time. Now the drone in. You have so much util for the post plant. It's ridiculous, man. And the bullets are just gonna keep on flying into that one location. Just one more to deal with. And he's stunned. Shopify just flooding to make it 10-5.
Enough. Having those numbers is okay, but you cannot let them fall in.
Not even Mitch really with the orchestrating of the retake calling, just because Shopify is so fast and so on your face if you're right in front of him, and this time you certainly are. Stunna getting hit with that light speed, still has a little bit of time to grab some chip damage, but no more. But the first intercept is there. Pancakes can take down the first body. Ion not able to skirt through absolutely everything. And the double swing through mid will catch that first bit of rotation from Exa, who is on his lonesome. Now the walk-up. Mitch, read like a book. Satellite, very much ready for it as he escorts the remaining two, rotating all the way over to A site. But now, Jake sits here ready to go on top of his star. The Nova Pulse, interesting option, but it's exactly what he needs to net the kill on a nature. Xander not able to refrag either! And now the puppy guard on that spike may have just been the saving grace to get EG Academy their first round of the half. Gravwell, a little late to it, but Jake can just watch. 12 seconds to go and 3 bodies to take care of. No way all of them are going to show themselves as Satellite has got to go through this piece by piece, and the fragment on the only remaining place he could plant. It's going to be 4 bodies that Satellite has to settle for as EG is on the board in their defense.
He has an operator in his hands, finally, and they're opting to fight towards that mid, which might just end up in a little bit of a brawl, and a really good block actually on that Viper pit, Viper orb.
Yeah, about time he started doing that when nobody's poking their heads out until after this Tejo drone goes. A lot of just reactive smoking, Pancakes,
wow.
watched by Ion. That's your op gone. Tough place to reach it too. Like Jake really doesn't want to leave his position right now because Shopify hasn't given away where they're rotating.
Dude, every time it feels like EG has the answer, Ion just denies it every time.
Yeah. Footholds keep on slipping, and now Ion's gonna take that inch, turn it into a mile, saturate for Saturite. He's thrown out the link, but Stunna holding close to it, can swing for both. Rest of Shopify's got to brawl close, and Satellite's able to net one with the spray. And Exa holding the flank watch. Mitch yet again unable to make work out of this position. Will get substituted. Now there's 2, watch it!
There.
Twisting the knife into the options that EG thinks they can keep re-upping on. And Stunna, another beyond ballsy ultimate in a 1v3. But this time, EG is way too far down for us to simply chuckle at it.
Exploiting the fast takes that they have on B is going to be working for them. It's looking like they're going to set up for that again. The drone coming in, the setup. Jake, he's alone on site and he's getting ulted immediately.
Oh, still gets one on the way back down, though. Insane patience coming from him, letting the rest of EG kind of fly on with some extra help. Hunter's Fury from nature just to try to cut through the crowd, but he's not able to fully track down Zerona's body, so he'll only chip for half. Oh, on 2 bodies, though. He's actually able to catch Stunna, too. So 2 members low, so Shopify can keep placing that pressure on this site. EG field pressured not to necessarily move. And a minute 5 to go means Shopify still have options for rotation on top of this spike, so Xander's going to keep browsing.
The mid-round getting a little shaky here for Shopify. They're down numbers. They need to find a pick. But EG playing this super smart, knowing that they cannot give up their numbers advantage right now. Mitch holding on to his Sova ult as well. Gonna help them within this next round. And mid, Zerona, is he able to fight this?
Oh, the high-low swing, only good for the 1.
Mid. Nice and slow now.
Shopify still down personnel,
30
but even
seconds
footing
left.
on the B swings. Stunna tucked. Mitch default. A war on two fronts. Saturate, preliminary, Ion spots it, gets refragged. Mitch can't manage both. And Xander's on 7 HP in the 1v1. Enough time to plant, and Pancakes is not early enough.
Spike planted.
Xander has the Cosmic Divide if he really wants to make this work here and now. The Nova Pulse instead, but Pancakes is just gonna use that one shot on the shorty to guarantee. We'll see Mitch take that very far back rotation, just in case they've got to cradle a little extra. Jake's been Nova Pulsing a lot on these entries. I'm wondering what he's gonna do, because it's been a good way to throw them off. Yeah, gotta just
30 seconds.
hope that someone can manage Ion. Jake stays tucked. Oh, and the pit's gonna get activated. Jake has the perfect counteraction to this as Mitch uses the Hunter's Fury. That's actually gonna be the thing to catch Exa. Ion still ignored, and Satellite on the way back in eventually have enough pieces to make A site work, but it's just 2 left after Xander falls.
Planted.
No command back out as Ion creeps up. Gets Serona down immediately! And they can get that res, but Ion's gonna keep applying that pressure, keep on wasting that time as the 3 stack becomes up again. Oh, but Satellite all the while has been getting that rotation. Will try to go for it, but EG will win out. Love the plan, love the proactivity from Shopify, but EG will once again survive.
EG getting so good at playing those close angles. I mean, while we're in this pause, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Shopify, they have so much ability to get on these executes, but they're just not clearing corners properly.
Because Mitch is so good at calling on top of mistakes. EG ready to capitalize. 4 rounds strong. Like you said, this one would be the economic toppler. Knife confirms Ion's early position up, so EG can go for a bit of a crunch on top of the hallway. Stunna ready for this Waylay Ditto whenever it ends up happening, but Ion more than willing to wait this out until the rest of Shopify gets the stack, which it looks like they will early, droning their way into the tunnel on A. And EG,
Fall back here.
once again, slightly adjust. Stun is gonna head back down, the refract ready, and Mitch not checking the hallway where Ion has been sitting this whole time! And now Stun is gonna refract right into where Ion's watching! It falls apart in an instant. Oh, but Jakey's still standing inside this smoke. That tuck equalizes again. The plant is delayed. Still a personnel advantage for Shopify Rebellion, and they have almost no util post-plant to be able to hold this down. It's got to be another backyard brawl. Pancakes with the operator in tow, though, with the headhunter, too. Zerona's going to have to do so much opening up, and he only has 1 flash to do it. Here we go. See if they can do it. First tap. Pancakes ready, chasing down a leg. Brings out the headhunter for the second. Zerona pinged out by the recon. He cares not. Satellite perfectly timed. And it really was only a matter of attempts. Shopify Rebellion Black get over the line, dominate in the back halves they need to, and will win out the series.